Hi all, welcome to my channel. This is, I thought would be the last video on the tranny. It's not. There will be a part 3. This is part 2. Right now I'm making what I think is the shifting diaphragm, pancake, whatever you want to say, for the dual clutch system. I'm not sure because it's not mounted directly to the tranny. It's actually held off the back end for a little bit, and there's some hydraulic lines and all that stuff there. So right now I'm just making the bolt heads to hold it together like it needs it, right? Glue's holding it together. Naturally, I will fight with a couple of these, and some of them will fall off after I clip them, have to re-glue them back on. You know the drill. As you can see, the transaxle is actually just setting in there right now. Nothing's painted, ready to go. Just seeing how it works, or how it's going together. The upper body had plenty of room to goof with this stuff. The only thing I had trouble with was with the radiator, the back radiator. I put it too close to the back of the top of the car. Didn't know that, and so I had to take it off and move it forward. No big deal. About from a half inch to about from a 3/4 of an inch to about a half inch, and I made clearance there. That's about 25.4 millimeters. No, that's an inch, dummy. Disregard what I said. It's about 13 millimeters is what I moved it back a half inch. 25.4 is an inch. It's like trying to straighten crooked teeth. A little pan-shaped object goes in the center of that, and when I first glue it on, I didn't notice because I didn't check the photograph. Stupid me. I actually put it on facing the wrong direction, but I caught this before I painted it and just pulled it off and re-glue it in the right angle. I'd love to get some of the dye, and I never did do it yet. A dye to make little bolts for this. That would have been look so much nicer. But you know, it's in the future. Here's the center disc I was talking about. Oops, wouldn't you know, it flipped over. Sweet. that puppy's going on there, want to or not. That actually needs to be facing the left side of the car, not the right. So don't copy what I did. You know, I never realized how long I stood around waiting for stuff to dry. Never realized how much I did that, and it's maddening. You can see there I made the rubber boot for the CV joint. I was going to make one for the other end out of the rim that protruded out past it. And I never did it because I couldn't see it, even with the flashlight. So it was like, really? All right, why do that? Right now I'm using some Vallejo silver just to cover the ends to make it look like they're silver, but I go over it with tape just to cover it. Aluminum duct tape. Well, apparently I'm painting I never finished painting the discs on this. Actually, I'm narrating as I'm watching the thing. I don't have a skit, and that's obvious. There's Vallejo, I believe it's Wargaming paint. That's where I got it at, was a Wargaming shop. Man, this stuff actually works really good compared to their aluminum. Their aluminum is not that good. I don't mind their gold and their brass, but their aluminum just doesn't look good. It's not Vallejo, it's Army Painter War Paints. Shining silver. Really works nice. Covers good. Is shiny. Where the Vallejos, you have to put a lot of coats on just to get it built up. It's rather weak. I don't know why. Here I'm using my fancy brush, piece of sprue, just to hit those, because that will snug up against the transaxle and the axle. I'll just slide them in. They slide up there. In fact, I made them on that axle there. Put the two pieces, butt them up, and spun some thread, black thread around it. You can see those little loose threads. I will clip them off here. See, that stuff's already dry, and believe me, it wasn't much. I'm just waiting for it to dry. Maybe grab something to drink, like Diet Coke or whatever. And stupidly, I did not spray this with any primer. which would have helped greatly. I just didn't think of it. Light dry brushing on the boot housings or the rubber boots on the CV joints. Clipping the threads off, hopefully. I hope I did a better job than I'm seeing here. I would have burned it off, but I thought it might go up in smoke. There's that foil duct tape, or foil tape for ducting. Works really good on a lot of things. Here, believe it or not, I'm using math. Can you believe it? I'm looking for it. There we go. So I take 125 divided by 3.14, gets me the diameter to cut it. So it'll fit around with not a lot of overlap, or none at all if I do it correctly. There we go. It can be a pain getting that little piece of paper off the back, but usually by the time you goofed with it, it wants to fall off. Notice I'm rotating it in my finger to kind of rub it down. Now it gets my ever-present secret recipe of India ink and some acrylic burnt umber and a lot of water. And this always dries way lighter than it looks. So usually you have to put on several coats to get it to look right. But the nice thing about it is if you get it right the first time, you're all right. And if you get too much, just take a little bit of alcohol or water and it'll come off. When it's dry, it's alcohol. When it's a little damp, as you can see right now, I dried my brush and soaking up the excess. I didn't figure I'd ever take the back wheels off. Anyway, end of part 1. Part 3 coming on its way.